Because of the Predator franchise, we got one of the greatest lines in history.
Get to the chopper!
No, not that version. I like this one better.
Look at it, go! Get to the chopper!
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking the brand new movie in the Predator franchise. This is Prey, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Join me later this week as I rank the Predator movies, but as of now, we're going to talk this one spoiler-free. So this is the origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago, where Naru, a skilled warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. This film stars Amber Midthunder, and like I said before, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. And we're going to start with the rating as always. This is rated R for strong, bloody violence, and that's it. And that's all you really need, all you really want in a Predator film. All right, so the first question I'm going to get, Austin, is that blood and violence, is there enough to appease fans of this franchise? And the answer is absolutely, right? We've gotten plenty of attempts at giving us a Predator sequel, or in this case, a prequel, in the past, and most of the time, and we'll talk about later this week which ones I like, which ones I don't, most of the time, it's just so disappointing compared to the first movie, because the first movie had such a beautiful balance of delivering on that action, but also giving us those really compelling moments with characters. And I just haven't really found that balance since. And I'm not going to say that Prey is better than the first movie, but what Prey does well is that it finds that balance between just enough story to get you invested in specifically one character, but a couple of the characters along the way, and of course a nice animal companion that you slightly see in that trailer. I didn't watch the trailers, by the way. Apparently, there's a little too much in there, but just from what I saw from the marketing, I was hesitant yet excited about what this could be. But with the Predator movie, you don't need a ton of build-up. You don't need a ton of story. What you want is great, small-scale Predator v. human action. And the best part about this movie is it strips away all of the nonsense. You know, the movie we got a couple years ago, The Predator. There was so much nonsense in that film to the point to where it really started to piss me off. Just focus on the action. Is that so hard? This movie says, I'm going to focus on the action. We're not going to include any of that. And it helps that it's a period piece. It helps that this takes place in a time where there wasn't too much to rely on other than your instincts and your ability to survive. And what I like about this film, and a lot of people's hesitation, trust me, I've seen the comments, the hesitation going in is, how is this girl gonna take the weapons that in a million years would not level up, would not be able to take on a predator? How is she going to do that? And I'm not going to say everything in this movie is believable, because there were one or two moments where I said, okay, I kind of had to turn my brain off for that. But there are plenty of those moments in the first Predator movie. Went back and watched it the other day with my wife. She was struggling a bit more with the believability than I was, but we both had a phenomenal time at the end of the day. Believability is something that this movie occasionally struggles with, right? But for the most part, they do a great job of just looking at this main character and saying, instead of taking on this predator, you are just here to survive. And she has to find ways to survive while she's being hunted, or while other characters are being hunted. They go about it in a really interesting way. And another topic of conversation is, you can take a look at these ratings right here on IMDb. The fact that the movie hasn't even come out yet, both the 1s and the 10 stars. I'm saying to myself, but how did you see it if it hasn't come out yet? I want to know. I want to know how. But what gets me is some of the things being said about the movie that just don't come to pass in this film. Because Dan Trachtenberg, as a director, he is smarter than that. He's not going to tell the audience to turn their brains off completely. There has to be some believability in here. And that is absolutely the case for the most part. But what I love about the film is the fact that it always keeps you on your toes. Anytime we slow down to get a little bit of story or to work on one or two of these relationships between the core characters in this film, there's always something that happens almost immediately. When the downtime comes, we have 5 to 8 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, all right, guys, we're going to have to start picking up the action because I don't want that boredom setting in. And I'm not going to say there wasn't a dull moment in this movie, but every time we start to get a dull moment, it always picks back up. And the way they handle the Predator in this film, and I won't go into details, but it works so freaking well. And there are so many incredible visuals that comes from what the Predator is offering here, to the point to where I am just so disappointed I wasn't able to see this on the big screen. This is definitely a film that would have played extremely well, from the special effects to just the simplicity of it all, but getting those extremely crazy kills. I mean, maybe the craziest of the entire franchise, and the satisfaction that comes from those moments while you're watching, and the fact that it happens all throughout the film, right? This isn't just one moment where we get those satisfying moments. There are so many scenes throughout the movie that are just paying off and paying off. And I'm like, this is what I wanted to see from Prey. What I didn't know I was going to get is what I wanted to see. I do want to say it was slightly jarring seeing these characters speak in English all throughout the movie. I thought maybe they would handle that in a different way as it started. You kind of forget that is happening because you're so thoroughly entertained all the way through. But I did hear that they're going to do an English version and a Comanche version, so I think that would be interesting to watch this in that language. I don't know how they are going to handle that, to be honest with you, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty psyched to see that version of this film. And I'd say my criticism, other than a few dull moments, is the fact that some of the blood splattering all throughout the film was very clearly that CGI low-grade blood splatter, but that also gave it kind of this independent type feel, and that's how you are feeling all throughout this movie. It's small scale, the cinematography is excellent, the set pieces are great, and again, some of the more satisfying kills you're going to get in any of the Predator movies. My final 3 points. This movie nails the atmosphere. Someone made a Revenant comparison, and I'm like, yeah, I could absolutely see how you combine that with the Predator franchise. Dan Trachtenberg is a great director. He brought us by far the best Cloverfield movie in 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I do not want a 6-year gap between movies again. I want another movie from him tomorrow. Finally, Amber Midthunder. She is genuinely awesome as this lead character, and like I said, there's an animal companion that adds another dynamic to this movie and something else to root for. So before I give you guys my score, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below, and stay tuned. Like I said, we are ranking the Predator movies. Prey is an intense thriller that provides the best Predator-centric moments since the original. This film thrives due to its simplicity and commitment to providing fans some brutal fight scenes. Other major franchises should take note, because this is how you do it, and I say that because this is what I wanted when they brought back Jurassic Park. This type of small-scale film. But for a Predator movie, I'm going an 80%. Definitely one of the better films since the original. I think fans, if they give it a chance, are going to be satisfied with it for the most part. Like I said, 1 or 2 moments in there that I was questioning. But overall, I was surprised. I just didn't know how this was going to play. But moral of the story is, trust Dan Trachtenberg as a director. I'll keep that in mind next time he directs a project. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.
Get to the chopper! Ah!